Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm back in the shop because today I got a lot of maintenance to do. If you're new to the channel or a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It is incredibly hot in my shop. That's why I kind of haven't been out here very often. Plus, we don't really race that often, which I'll get into later. You'll probably see me change my shirt a few times to try to keep the sweat off me as much as possible. I have the air conditioning going, but when it's, I don't know, 96, 8, I don't know, the little whatever this band is that holds that on is kind of in the way, and that's pretty high up the list. And when you put a temp gun in the roof, it says 115, 120 degrees. Anyway, I figured while I had a moment, I needed to kind of address a few situations. Nothing really major. I just wanted to kind of put some word out there. Because I'm getting the feeling that a few watchers of the channel, based on comments and DMs and stuff, might kind of get the wrong idea with my last few videos and what we were trying to do. I get the impression that some people might think that I'm not really serious, I guess, or that I just don't have that that drive or that killer instinct that you kind of require in order to be a race car driver. But the fact of the matter is that I race a car that I have, basically. I have a 5th to 10th place car right now. And obviously I'm working to make that better, but when you have a limited schedule, you know, you have very limited opportunity on what you can try. And every single time I'm out there, I'm not using the same setup. I'm trying to correct the problem. But I'm also not an idiot. So I'm out there trying my best not to wreck my equipment either. You know what I mean? There's a saying that's live to race another day that I live by no matter what happens. Just live to race another day. So I don't need a pep talk, or I don't need tough love. I don't need a reality check. I don't need any of that stuff. Trust me, I am my own worst critic. When the cameras are off, I'm so hard on myself that, like, it's not, you can't even fathom it. Like, I don't want to show that on the channel because I don't want to show negative stuff. I want to show this stuff, you know. I don't care if I struggle a little bit. That's racing, you know, that happens. But again, I just don't need perfect strangers questioning if I have what it takes to be a race car driver. The trophies in my office tell me otherwise. Oh, by the way, there's one up there. Trust me, I got it, you know, but again, you got to be smart when you're in my situation. I can't just throw money at this thing and be like, oh, I'm going to go give it a 200% and go throw the thing into somebody else and wreck it and do something stupid. I have what I have, and that's all I can do, you know. And if I let somebody buy because they're much faster than me, who cares, you know? Doesn't mean I don't have killer instincts or anything. It just means I'm trying to be as smart as possible and not put myself in stupid situations. And I need to have the car be still intact by not doing stupid things in order to figure it out. So I might as well show you a little bit of what I'm talking about behind the scenes. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you come to the racetrack, I'm more than willing, if you stop by my pit or anything like that, I'm more than willing to say hi, chat a little bit, you know, whatever friendly thing you can think of, I guess, you know, just meet and greet with people, do all that sort of stuff. I'm perfectly fine doing all that, but I can't actually, like, accommodate people while I'm at the racetrack. Like, if you come, to be fair, you can't really hang out at my trailer. I'm sorry. That goes for everybody. I've had a lot of people just kind of come and meander and hang around and stuff, and it's like, well, I appreciate the fact that you enjoy what I do here, and that's great. I love it. You know, that's kind of the point, is me you know, putting this out there for everybody and for people to enjoy. But when I'm at the racetrack, I'm working a lot. Like, I'm working so much that I actually can't watch other races, which kind of sucks because I'm a race fan first and a racer second. I enjoy it. I love watching it. But if I can't, I can't. And that stinks because that's usually my day at the racetrack is I'm working nonstop on the car or even trying to make it better. And I have to make sure that I protect my investments, meaning tools, parts, trailer, car, etc. Like, I need to make sure that all that stuff is safe. And to be perfectly frank, I don't know 99% of you, like, personally. On a personal level, you might see me on a screen, but that doesn't mean I know who you are. So it's for the safety of everything that I own. I can't trust everybody, and I hope you understand completely because you shouldn't either. And I just need a little bit of space when I'm at the track. I need to be able to do my thing. I might not have a lot of crew, but I have some, and it's more than what I need. So please just kind of respect my boundaries a little bit, and everything will be cool. Again, I haven't had a bad experience quite yet, but I'm just saying it for the future because I don't want to in the future. I would really hate to have something happen with a viewer or a fan or something that, like, kind of sets me off or breaks my heart, or they break something or steal something or do something because I just don't know who they are. So you got to kind of think of it from my perspective. Like, I don't know anybody, so my group and circle is very small, and again, I'm very happy to do meet and greets and talk to people, but like when it comes to accommodating people at my trailer, just know that I can't. And that's it. So anyway, this is what I do that you don't see. Notice all of my stuff is out on the shelves. I have my radar out. I have my notebooks. These are all the notes that I've taken in this car over years and years and years. I have setup sheets, notes, everything. I go through all of this stuff to try to come up with something that's going to work. And trust me, it's not an easy process. It is a long process, especially when you race somewhere that has 6 races. And when you're trying to iron something out like this, it's easy to look like you're struggling a lot. But when you race 6 times a year, over 3 years, that's less than a full, or it could actually be a full season at one track. I know plenty of tracks that run 18 to 20 times a year, and I don't. If I ran a full season, I would actually have time to come out and work on setups and do all this stuff to try to get the car as figured out as possible. So on the agenda for today, enough talking. I know I talked for about 10 minutes so far, but I felt like I had to kind of get it out there, and whatever. It's a video. You guys will get plenty of content out of this, trust me. We got to do maintenance on the car. I had a problem when I was coming down pit road, shifting the car. It's starting to grind. I don't know what the deal is, and then sometimes it's not grinding. So racing is tough on equipment. I'm going to pull that out and take a look at it. I also want to pull the center chuck out of the rear end and take a look at that. I think it might be a little draggy. I think they might have built it a little too tight, and I don't like that. So I got to do all of that stuff. We got to drop springs out of it. We got to drop shocks out of it. We got to drop everything out of the car. This is going to be a really long video if I don't start now. So let's get to work. Pardon all the wind noise. I got the fan going, and I got another fan going, and I got the air conditioning going because I showed you how unbelievably hot it is in here. I got the axles pulled out. Hopefully you saw that. I've got the drive shaft out. I got a little bit of a weird grind coming from the transmission here, and I don't know what was going on there. I mean, I rebuilt that in 2020, ran it at Stafford 3-4 times. Then I ran it probably since probably about 12 races. I'm not sure. The rear end just seems to be a little bit tight. I did not build that center section and the gear set, or whatever you want to call it, but I got to get that out, and I want to inspect that because it seems a little bit draggy, and I got everything loose, but we got to get the transmission, probably pull that out, and I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to start inspecting everything in the driveline. So I got the rear chuck out. I haven't done the transmission yet, but every time I turn the pinion, it's actually hard to turn. And people out there might be saying, oh, it's because it's a fresher build. Well, I got 2 races on it. You'd think that it would have worn in by now because that's pretty harsh duty. And I did break it in properly. Now, and when I moved the carrier, it is also rather stiff. I mean, I don't have a lot of, that is moving very difficult. So my other gear set that I have, I built that one, and man, you can go like this and it just rolls and the pattern's perfect. This thing, oh, it is tight and it is robbing horsepower and it is getting warm. I don't really want to touch it too much because the pattern is perfect on it. So I think I'm going to get the gauge out and make sure that I have the proper backlash for it. And I came up with a tech tip. Now, these Ford 9-inches, they come with this little retainer nut and strap that holds this adjuster on the carrier from moving. Sometimes it's up here if it's factory. This looks like it's an aftermarket case. But they put these nuts in, and my God, they were in hard because I could not get this one out. This one on the other side barely broke free. This one here stripped completely. So I got a tech tip for you. Since it's a hex head, socket or whatever you call this thing, I took a T-bit and I stuck it over the hole. It's got to be bigger than what you stripped. And I took a hammer and I hammered it in. So now it looks like that. Now it looks like an actual T-bit, right? I'm trying to do this by looking at the camera, and I shouldn't. But see, look, now it actually fits. And I was able to break it free by doing that. Works pretty good. Doesn't work all the time. But if you're in a pinch and you don't want to be cutting things off and trying to do an easy out, that's your solution. So now we're at the point where this thing is definitely rolling the way that I want it to. I don't know if this is how you all set yours up, but let's be fair. I want as little resistance as possible, but I have to still adjust the side carriers and get the pattern right. But the pinion, oh boy, that thing was tighter than, I don't even want to mention to keep it kid friendly. But this thing now, at least it doesn't take really any effort. I mean, it takes a little bit. It does weigh something, and there is a little bit of, drag. But this is pretty much how I have my other gear set hooked up. Now, at least it won't be so much of a drag on my drivetrain. So that makes me feel a little bit better. So I just now gotta, like I said, finish it up, get the pattern right, check the backlash, throw it back in the car. Got another tech tip for you. If you're cleaning goop, like silicone sealant off of whatever you need to clean it off of, Carb cleaner, wire brush. Carb cleaner tends to expand like rubber, or like if you're wearing like nitrile gloves or something, it tends to expand them when you're wearing them, and it does the exact same thing to this silicone sealant, and it just comes right off. I mean, if you use brake clean, it won't do the same thing. It's got to be carb cleaner, because it will, look, it just comes right off. I mean, you could sit there and scrape forever trying to get it, but carb cleaner and a brush, that's all you need. So the rear chuck at least is back together. I got to throw the axles back in. I got to put the gear oil back in. Then I can move forward to the pulling the transmission out and inspecting that. I don't know. And then playing with the front suspension. I want to try some springs. I got to put springs back here too. But as you can tell, it's incredibly hot in here. I don't care that it's getting later at night. I'm sick of being hot. I spent all day out in the sun. 90 plus degrees out. It's 100 plus in this damn garage. I need a break, so I'm gonna go in and chill, and hopefully literally, and I'll probably come back out tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be as bad. Back in the shop, it's only like 5 degrees cooler than yesterday. If I look like this, it's because I was outside power washing my house for the last 2 hours, and my garage is still over 90 degrees. So anyway, I gotta dig into this right rear axle because I think the seal kind of walked its way down the tube. I gotta push that back in without losing it into the housing. Hopefully I can actually do that. And then I can go and get under here and pull the transmission out. I might not do any time lapse because I'm sure you guys are sick of it by now, but also I don't know how long it'll take me at this point because I still gotta get under the car. And I'll probably throw that on when I actually get to working on checking in it or pulling it apart to just inspect it. But either way, I got to get this axle fixed, and then I'm hopping underneath to grab that transmission. If you can hear the fan blowing as hard as possible in the background, I got the air conditioning going, and I got the rear back together. If you can tell, I got that fixed finally, and I had an issue that took a lot of time where the inner wheel seal, like I told you, on the right rear had walked its way over. Well, all the grease in it, because you're supposed to pack them with like low temp grease. Let me get away from the fan here. But you're supposed to pack them with like low temp grease, and that's supposed to help longevity and like friction and stuff, but apparently it was all gone in that one, and it was torn. So I had to take the center back out of the rear end, take a hammer and a rod or something, and just like knock the seal back into the inside the rear. And sorry, it's really hot in here and kind of tough right now. Then I had to reassemble the whole rear again, and you know, I don't usually say this much, but I think I'm overdoing it today. I went to work, it was over 90 degrees in the truck, no air conditioning, came home, went to work outside plus 90 degrees, power washing the house in the sun. Then I come in the shop and it's over 90 degrees, and it's not good. I got a headache, and I think it's time to go inside and take a cold shower and take it easy. I was going to take the transmission out, but I think that's gonna have to wait for another video because I haven't gotten one out in at least a week to you guys, even though I did put 2 out. And at least I got some rear end maintenance done. Also, I just spent the last hour cleaning up this mess. I wasted an entire can of brake clean because I spilled gear oil on my fuel cell from filling up the rear end. And once I got it completely cleaned up, it happened again. So yeah, that kind of angered me quite a bit, but I'll make this one short. Okay, I'll put this one out, that way you guys can have something. I'll call this one rear diff maintenance or something, but I'm looking at the inside of my car and it is completely covered in oil, so now I gotta waste another can of brake clean just cleaning the oil off of the regular car. So I don't want to overdo it. I'm starting to feel kind of funny, and I'm gonna go get some rest. But thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I really hope that I wasn't over the line with my talk earlier that we had to have, but I think that's kind of necessary for somebody in my situation. But again, I still appreciate everybody, and I'm not yelling at anybody in particular. I'm not making light of anybody in particular. I'm just saying, look, you know, these are kind of what I need to have in order for this to be a smooth running operation. And I got a lot of ideas to fix the problem that we have. It's just, like I said, when you have this little few amount of races and very small budget, you can't really get out there and do as much as you want. But again, thank you all so much for the support. Trust me, it's going to get better. We just got to get there first. We're making strides and making improvements all along the way, but I'm also making messes that I have to clean up. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Please tell your friends if they're into this type of thing. And I swear it's not all going to be racing content at one point, but right now it kind of is, and we just got to get there. But thank you so much for watching again. I greatly appreciate it, and until next time.